Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And it was a little bit delayed video there on my end, but I think we're on deck. We're live. The most important breakup advice. Who are you? And this might be the most important advice for you right now, period. This is going to be an interesting topic today. We'll get some lights on the situation. So, like I said, the most important breakup advice. Who are you? Some people actually have trouble with this question when I talk to them. And if I do a live coaching session, I send you over a set of questions prior to us talking. And this is one of them. And sometimes people are like, what does that mean? Good question. Who are you, and how you answer that has a lot to do with who you see yourself as, and in turn, how you act, your results in your life, what's holding you back. The who are you question should be answered with I am. The I am answer for anything is going to direct your subconscious on your actions. So, be as specific as possible, but also don't fight the question. If you overthink it a lot of times, then you're thinking, well, who do people think I am? Who do I want to be? But who are you right now? What are your roles in the world, in your life? Who do you see yourself as? It's not as simple as just saying, I'm Mac. Although what goes along with I'm Mac? A lot of things. I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm a son. Those are different roles in my life. So, just to start out, think about that question, and whatever comes first, answer it. Now, I've had clients in the past before that'll answer this question with 10 different things. I'm a craftsman, I'm a mechanic, I'm a husband, I'm a father, all these different things. So some people have a lot of roles that they identify with. What's interesting about that, when you identify a certain role, who are you within that role? Does it counter to what other roles are? This is a bit deep. But what I want to talk about today is I'm working towards building a self-assessment survey / test. I don't know if I like the word test, where you can answer a variety of questions that are number-based so that you could come up with a score of where you're at in life and if you're satisfied with who you are and where you're headed. A lot of times we're looking at what we did. Myself, I'm one of those people that tends to look into the past a lot. Could have done this, should have done that. I've worked on that and I'm aware of it, and so I neutralize it more than I ever have before, but it still happens. It still happens. And the other end of that is a lot of people are future-based. People have a lot of trouble being present, right? And the reason for that is a lot of times we live these lives that are quite comfortable in 2021. Even if you don't think they're comfortable, a lot of things are taken care of for you. Do you understand what I mean by that, Danny?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think about how humans evolved, it wasn't that fucking comfortable, right? People would say, oh, I'm not comfortable. You know, I want more money. I want this. I want that. Just think about this for a minute. I know I'm not speaking for the world, but I would say a large, I don't even know what the population would be, 60, 70, 80% of people are eating pretty well. They don't have to kill their own food or find their own food. Mm-hmm. They have to make money to pay for it or barter for it or trade for it. But most of the population in the world, and I could be wrong on this, knows where their next meal is coming from. That's comfort. That's nice. You got a fridge, you got food, you're not worried about that. That's number one. Number two, you got a place to sleep that there's not lions, tigers, and bears around. That's pretty nice. Mm-hmm. right? I mean,
yeah.
we'll never go, oh, yeah, because you just take it for granted, right? What else is comfortable? So you got food, you got shelter, security. Now, in certain areas of the world, it's unsafe. A majority of the world would probably be more safe than it was when humans evolved. Yes, probably. So what I'm saying is a lot of times human beings have worries and thoughts that were never problems before because they have nothing to do with survival. They're not deep. They're more shallow. And so we get into this thing of like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. Well, I would have done this because we're not present, because the present moment, we're just safe. We're just okay. Now, what I'm working towards right now is this test or survey where someone can take an honest self-assessment. I talked about this months ago, and I've just revisited it. It's kind of on the shelf. How you doing, Donna? Leandra, always a pleasure. To be honest, Leandra said hi, Dan.
Hello.
He goes, you prefer Danny. I just say Dan sometimes because I'm being lazy. But he prefers Danny. So, am I correct, Danny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So just so other people don't just start calling you Dan. Anyhow, getting back to this. I think this is a really interesting self-reflective thing to look at, even if you're not in a breakup. But if you are in a breakup, it is an opportunity. Because why? Mac, I want my ex back. Mac, how do I get my ex back? Mac, I'm hurting here. What do I do? Mac, should I call her? Coach, what do you think? She just posted a picture of her and her best friend and another guy. Are they dating? Should I cut her from social media? Should I never call him again? The list goes on. I get it. You're going through a breakup, you're going through a tough time, you're going through a bad relationship. And if you're not, and you follow my channel or the live stream, this will be useful for you also. But my point is, if you lose a job, if you lose a loved one, if you have crisis in your life, it is a fucking opportunity. Why? Because ground zero has a weird to motivating equilibrium. How do I mean that? I don't even know where I came up with that kind of a word for it. What I mean by that is, I remember when I was in college, and I was in college, I was doing an internship in downtown San Francisco for a commercial real estate company. I mean, this guy was in his mid-20s that I worked under. Probably a millionaire now, very sharp guy. I was working in downtown in the high rises. It was a cool 3 months to be able to walk those high rises in the downtown district of San Francisco. Anyhow, this guy, we'd have lunch. There was a few shady things, just like people that are good business people. They have some of the things they come up with. You're like, wow, you really put money first. They're not afraid to lie a bit. That's what I would say. So this is what turned me off to the work. But this guy overall, he was a good guy, and for he gave me some good advice. And this is what's good if you have different jobs or internships. They all can sprinkle into your life experience, and you can get something from people. And so I remember him telling me, do you have any debt? And at the time I was 24 because I was late to graduate college a bit. A lot of people graduate 22, 23. And I said, no, but I don't have anything right now, so I'm motivated to make money. I don't have. He goes, Mac, 0 is a very good number to be at. Now, why is that? Because there's nowhere else to go but up, and you don't have anything to lose. Have you ever thought of that before? How cautious people live when they have a lot to lose? And I get it, especially if you got kids. I mean, you got to be more cautious. I get it. I'm not telling people to go, oh, just go all in on the Bitcoin or go all in on lottery or put your money into a business that's risky and you got 2 kids and that's all you're saving. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when you get to ground zero, which is what happens to a lot of people in a breakup, is there anything else to lose? You understand my question, Dan? Mm-hmm. So it's almost like when people get really depressed and they get to a moment where they're like, I've never been this upset before. And you're at ground zero and you're thinking of going below ground zero, if you know what I mean. Is there anywhere else to go but up if you go all in on, you know what, I always wanted to do this, but I didn't have the balls. Sorry for the women that are on here right now. I always wanted to do this, but my girlfriend wouldn't like me doing that. Those are the big ones that hold people back. You know what I mean, Danny? Mm-hmm. Is what if it's not you're 23 years old, so you're not too far removed from living with your mother or your family, right? Yeah. A lot of times you're thinking, oh, I can't do that because my mom wouldn't like that. Not everyone, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And you look at it like I said, like, there's a lot to lose here. But when you get to ground zero, and then you go, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do what I really want. I'm just gonna go all in. But some people, it takes maybe answering some of these questions that I'm working on and doing a self-reflection to bubble up what you want to do. Because some people have no clue. You know why? They have no clue about desires or wants. They just haven't experienced enough. Does that make sense, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's some people out there, it's not their fault. How do you figure out what you want to do? How do you figure out a compelling future for your life?
That's the hard part.
See, that's one way to look at it. Mm-hmm. But anything that you've ever liked, or as this new movie Soul talks about, is your spark. Great movie, by the way, if you guys want to check that out. Soul, the animated movie. How did you find out what that was? Danny, what's your favorite thing to do right now? First thing that comes to mind.
Taking a nap, I guess.
Oh, God. Really? Okay, because you like to dream or what? Or you just like to rest? Taking a nap. Taking a nap is a privilege because not everyone gets to take a nap. That means an afternoon nap, right?
Yeah, but I guess music, I guess.
Okay, music.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought that's a better answer than naps. I do like naps also, but I wouldn't say it's the number one thing I like. But I find them valuable, and I find it a privilege to be able to take a nap. Now, music, somewhere early on in your life, you were exposed to music, correct?
Yeah.
When was the first time you were like, oh, I just love listening to music?
I guess you ever saw one of those channels on TV that just show you music?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was called MTV.
Yeah, we had it was MTV for me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so MTV, like videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you just came across that by chance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my point is, and was that when you were like 5, 6, 7 years old?
Yeah.
And it just was cool?
Yeah.
Right away?
Yeah.
So I've never been, don't get me wrong, I think most people that are exposed to some type of music like music. It's just a human thing. Lala says, I second Danny, afternoon naps are the best. I like, by the way, I take naps too in the afternoon. I just was surprised by the answer. I was looking for something else I could work with that wasn't so simple. But as Danny's told me before, the best things in life are simple, which is very true. And like I said, it's a privilege. My father used to get pissed when I was a teenager, and I'd take a nap. Oh, you're taking a nap again? I was like, I have a job at night. I'd go to school and I had work at night. I'm not complaining, but I was like, I got to take a nap. I'm working. I think I would work from 4:30 or 5 p.m. till about 9:30 at night, and I was going to school. So I get the nap thing. My point is, okay, if Danny never had a TV or never had that channel, and maybe no one exposed you to music, or your first experience with music was like heavy metal from an older cousin you didn't like, you might be like, I don't really like music. Or somebody forced you to listen to a song you don't like, something like that. You got me? So what happens is a lot of times when we find these people that are like, oh, I just know my spark. I just know that, I just love music, or I've always played the piano. They got exposed to that, maybe in an organic or natural way, but something happened where they stumbled upon that. Do you know what I'm saying? So like you don't know what you don't know. But when you get into a breakup and you're at ground zero, you can re-explore some things. And if you're old enough and you're at a point in your life where you go, I've always wanted to do this, or I've always had an interest in this, and I don't know why I don't do it. Have you had things that are always knocking at your door, but you're like, yeah, I'll do that later? That might be fun. Do you have anything like that, Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's one?
I actually have a piano back in my house.
You have a piano in your house?
Yeah, like
a real piano.
Yeah, like acoustic grand piano.
Is that someone in your family had that, or
yeah?
Who played the piano?
Her daughter.
Who's her daughter?
Her means the owner of the house, which she moved to Chiang Mai.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the house that you live at,
yeah,
the owner's daughter. Okay, I was like, who's her?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Grand piano, those are expensive, man.
Yeah, but I never actually learned how to play it.
But in your head, you're like, I would like to learn how to play that.
Yeah.
You just don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually always liked the piano myself. So that's like one of those things. You have the opportunity.
Yeah.
You have a piano, which it's not normal for people to have just a piano in their house, let alone a nice one.
That would be a waste, I think.
Yeah. And probably if they took the piano away, you'd go, oh shit, I never even tried to play.
Yeah.
Like it would kind of be a loss. So that's just an example of something. I'm not going to say, hey, Danny, you need to play that piano today. I don't know what you have to do to go about that. But my point is, when you get to a point where you're alone and you're broken up, there's a lot of energy and time worrying or thinking about what your partner likes to do, or if they approve of what you like to do. Now, a lot of people go, oh, I just do what I want. You know what I'm talking about if you've been in a relationship long term. Now, if you had overbearing parents, or whoever was your guardians, whether that's your grandparents, your aunt and uncle, or if you were adopted. Because some people, I say something like that, some people don't have their parents. But if you had overbearing parents, you didn't really have a choice, right? So like they would force you to do things or tell you what so you've been in those kind of situations. The ideal situation is, as you become adult, a true adult is when you become more and more independent and shed the snakeskin of being a kid. And part of being a kid is still being under your parents' thumb. And so, or whoever takes care of you. Now, when you get into a relationship, some people fall into the same pattern, and they really are worried about what their partner thinks and not. And sometimes it's a negotiation, sometimes someone's a doormat, and sometimes someone else is the leader. Generally speaking, a lot of times when I deal with people in breakups, if they're going through it and they're having a really rough time with the breakup, not always, every story is different, every situation is different. If they're really going through it, they're not happy with everything in their life as an individual. Now, here's the rub. What they don't realize is this breakup had to happen for them to improve the other things in their life, because the relationship that they were in was hindering their progress, because in some way, a lot of people hold back from what they really want to do in lieu of pleasing their partner or hoping that it keeps the relationship alive. So let me go through some of these questions. Again, this isn't in every case, but there's a lot of cases. And this is how you have to frame when you're at ground zero of a breakup. Number one, go through your story, send it into writemac.com or talk to another coach, or write out your damn story and write it out detailed as you can. Number one, get to the bottom of that, get some clarity. Where do you stand? Where do they stand? Where do you have open loops? Okay, the list goes on. The next step, though, that you need to balance during the breakup and during your recovery is, who am I as an individual right now? Also, if I'm going to judge my life right now on a quick, is it okay, good, bad, sad, horrible, outstanding? Pick one of those words. Then you go, if you say bad, if you say horrible, you go, okay, can't get much worse, number one. And that's how you have to frame when you're in a bad situation. Can't get much worse, so how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to go all in on a better life? Might have to take some chances. But here's the good thing about taking chances. You don't have someone in the background going, hey, don't do that. You can make these choices on your own. There's a lot of value in that. So, as I wrote into the live stream today, number one question, who are you? This is a really good question. How much are you influenced by others, by what others think of you? Maybe you can do a 1 to 10 on this.
I've actually had clients that will be answering questions to me, and they'll go, well, my partner would say this about me. Well, my mother always says this about me. What do you think? Okay. There's a lot of people like that. They believe they're a puppet, someone has the strings. And they don't know they believe they're a puppet. Now, if you're in a situation where someone has to financially take care of you, sometimes that's the case. But is there a way for you to get out of that? Probably. Hard work, resourcefulness, creativity. When people get into a mode of victimhood or fear, they lose the creativity and resourcefulness that's going to get them out of it. Or the idea that I can't even get out of this. So how much are you influenced by what others, how much are you influenced by what others think of you? And some of you might go, I don't give a shit. I got a good friend, and I envy him, because I care what people think about me. I'm not on the level I was when you're a teenager, when you're, at a point in your life where everything's about, what people think and different things like that. And I was a pretty confident kid. But I'm not going to say, oh, no, I never cared about what people think. And being on a platform like I am now, yeah, you care. I think I'm at a healthy level of it now. I can take and leave comments I don't like or opinions I don't like pretty well. Now, you want to get to a point where you have the ability to seek out people's opinions that you respect on topics that they already know about. You want to be able to filter out people that give you opinions that you don't respect, that you don't maybe like the arc of their life. And this shit happens a lot. A lot of times you think, this is my good friend. A lot of times you think, oh, this is my colleague. Here's the crazy thing. You kind of just ran across them, through work, or they lived in your neighborhood, or you went to school with them. But really, as you get older, you're like, this person's poisonous. They don't make me feel better about myself. They don't help me out. They don't support me. They're jealous. They like to throw salt in the wound when something bad goes down. But they're your friend. They've always been there. Have they? Now, let's frame this another way. How much are you influenced by what your ex thinks of you? I bet if you're really going through it right now, quite a bit. Now, your ex is a different ballgame because if you were together long enough and you shared something called LOVE, real love, dare I say unconditional love. Unconditional love is the highest level of human emotion or feeling in my book. If you got to that point, then you do feel and are influenced by what your ex thinks because you have so much respect for them. And if you were loved and had a great relationship, you care what they think because you believe they care about you. And that's why your story, getting to the bottom of what happened in your breakup, is really important because maybe you are looking at that the wrong way. Maybe your ex didn't care about you the way you believe they did. But now that you're single, and now that you're broken up, and now you're out on an island, what would you do if you're on an island and you're shipwrecked? What do you do, Danny? If you're shipwrecked, you're on an island. If you're you know what shipwrecked is? You're shipwrecked, you're on an island. What do you do? What do you do to survive?
That's a big question. I don't know. I would try and find some food and, you know.
What about, have you ever seen the movie with Tom Hanks? What's the movie called?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name either.
Someone help me with that Tom Hanks movie where he's on an island. It's one word, too. Wilson! What does Tom Hanks do? And then, by the way, there's other movies that have been like this before where someone ends up on an island, right? There's a movie called Lord of the Flies.
Actually, like
what's that?
I don't know about that movie, I think.
Okay, so Lord of the Flies is another one. What does everyone do when they're on a stranded island? They get resourceful. They get creative. Is it true? They learn how to catch a fish or they die. Right? They learn how to find food or they die. They don't, I mean, they miss people, they miss different things, but they get creative. Right? So my point is when you're alone and you don't have your ex anymore, and you're not worried about what your ex thinks about you because they're not with you, you need to get creative and resourceful in your own life and figuring out what you want to do. The next question I'd say to ask yourself, who do you answer to in your life? Now, for one, it might be a boss. It might be someone that you work for. You might answer to your parents in some way. But who do you answer to? Next question. As an adult, who should you answer to first? Probably yourself. Correct? I would hope eventually you get to that point. I understand if someone's in a financial situation that maybe they have to answer their boss first because they need that money so bad. But you definitely, out of a breakup, should not be answering to your ex. And a lot of people do this. Well, if I break off contact with them, or if I don't do this, or you're not together anymore. Answer to yourself first. What do you want? I want them back. Well, that's not working right now. So, as an individual, who are you and what do you want beyond this relationship? Because if that person comes back, or if you meet someone else, it's always good to be at your best, whatever that may be. And the interesting thing, it's kind of cheese whiz. It's pretty cheesy sometimes. Oh, just be at your best, because it's such a blanket, generalized statement that sometimes I just cringe a little bit at, because it's so easy to say. But the intricate part of be at your best, really figure out what's your best. I mean, me being at my best would be different than Danny being at his best, probably. right? I would measure my life differently on things I'm interested in and my past experiences. Hence why some people value time alone, reading a book, and some people value how can I make more money, and some people value going on a live stream and talking to multiple people on YouTube, right? Because I'm an outgoing, talkative individual, and I enjoy this kind of a thing. So when you go into, and I think this is what gets really jaded now and really muddies up the waters of who you are. There's so much content out there telling you what to want. Okay. When I was a kid, I know I talk about this a lot, like I'm Clutch from the How to Love channel on YouTube was saying, you talk like you're so old. I'm not old. I feel great. My point is things have changed so much in the last 10, 20 years. It's amazing. When I was a kid, if we were going to dream about what we were going to get for Christmas or something cool, we'd look at a catalog, like a JCPenney's catalog. And it was like a, do you know what that is, Danny? A catalog?
Yeah.
Like a thick book with stuff for sale. And it was cool, man. Like you could go, but you'd have to sit down with this book and look through it. And you go, oh man, I want to get those Levi's, or like it had clothes, it had everything, it had games. It was just fucking cool, man. Now, but you would sit down with that catalog like at 8 p.m. at night or something like that, and you'd make a choice that you were going to look through that catalog. Now, you wake up in the morning, you turn on YouTube or you turn on your computer, it's like, want this, want to buy that, want to buy this, want to buy that, and you're like, whoa. Your mind's going in so many different directions because these platforms are good at getting your attention. And so you lose track of like, what do I even really want here? Because this looks cool, I like that, I want this. That's a lot of stuff. I like stuff. I got a lot of books behind me. Half of them, I haven't read to the complete end. But when you get down to this question, you're at ground zero, simplify things, and you have to ask yourself, man, what would be a compelling future? What if everything went right outside of my love life right now? Let's just put that to the side during this kind of assessment, right? And then you circle back to what kind of qualities would the ultimate partner have? And did your ex have those qualities? And if they didn't, what are you chasing? How do you get better as an individual? Next question. Fail. Crisis. What does every good movie have? A bad part, then a good part. Does that make sense? It's like a bad part, then a good part. A really bad part, and then a good part. So how do you, I don't know why people think that life isn't, these are the stories that we like to watch. I was just thinking recently, this movie I saw years ago. Has anyone ever seen the movie Major Echo?
Yeah, it sounds like a...
Is it on this?
No, I tried adjusting it, but it doesn't work.
Huh. I wonder why that is. Welcome to the echo chamber. Wow. Hope the mic's not messed up too bad. Major echo, bro. That's not good. Huh. Well, the people that stayed on during the echo, thank you for that. Do you hear it in your mic? Because I don't hear it in my mic.
No, it shows up in the screen.
Castaway, thanks, bud. Thanks for that. Echoing. Still echoing? Let's check something out here, maybe. Hello. Yeah. Might have to check this out. I'm still major echo, but I'll be here anyways. Eduardo Martinez, how you doing? We're dealing with an echo situation. It'd be pretty annoying. It would be pretty annoying to be listening to a live stream with echo. So let me figure this out. You don't think it's the speaker? I hope it's not the microphone. This is an expensive microphone. I'd be restart might fix it. Shit, man. All right, folks. I will restart the live stream. And see if that's it. Because I hope so. Because like I said, if it's the microphone, I'm going to be a little bit worried. Feedback from speaker. I don't think it's a speaker. I've been using this system for a long time. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's that. I'm not, you know. Let me see for a minute. Bear with me, people. It says excellent connection. It's funny because it just comes through my microphone so clean. I'm like, where's the echo? Yeah. Definitely not the mic. Turn off your mic real quick, Dan. Is your mic on? Yeah. It is on? Yeah. I tried. Do you hear an echo when Danny speaks? No, it's not the mic. All right, I don't usually like to restart it because it loses momentum from the second mic on. That mic's not on, right? Yeah, my mic's not on. Huh. This one's not on. All the yours are on. All right, folks, I'm gonna come back on deck. Dun, 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 dun. Minus the echo, I hope. It's a little better. Can't hear Danny. I'm just wondering, is it different now? Because he just turned off his mic. Did you turn off? Yeah. Bit better. No echo now. Hollow. Bit better now. Hollow. What does that even mean? Does that mean it sounds like I'm in a tunnel? Can sound now? It's better? Huh. All right, I'm going to roll on. Please tell me if it's hollow. I don't even know what that means. It means the voice isn't very clear. Kind of loses all momentum on the stream here. "39 minutes in." All right, let me check in with everyone that's here right now. And then we'll come back to the topic. Hopefully maybe the mic's too close. I could be better, but I'm hanging in there. Donna, do more than hang in there. Show up every day in your life as an individual and just do your best, hon. Lead with good intentions and honesty. Always try to be a better version of yourself. Figuring out what's better can be hard. That's why I'm trying to come up with this set of questions that might help people. You've hit rock bottom unless you believe there's a way up. You'll never find it. I second Danny. Afternoon naps are good. Bud Rum's good to have you if you're still on. Sorry about the echo here. Find food and ways to survive. Learn about your environment. Hi, just getting the notification. So that's when the echo started. How you judge and perceive yourself is fundamental to how you feel, regardless of others' perception. I agree. Audio sucks, but content doesn't. That pisses me off because I paid a lot for this audio system. So that if I didn't, then I'd be upset. What's up, Chris Boutron? We can meet you back here. Cordial Ogun. It sounds like you're in a tunnel. All right, let me get back on deck because, like I said, I'm not a perfectionist, but this shit, yeah, this is an expensive mic setup, so I got to figure this out. I don't know why it would be hollow. Is that? Oh. Huh. Man. It's much better. Just throw me off. I care what other people think right now. Nah, really, the thing is, like I said, this is a premium setup that I paid a lot of money for, so for it not to sound good is not good. No bueno. Do you like who you are right now is my last question to go into this topic. Why? Do you think that maybe we'll put the sound music on the background and it'll help. Make it not sound so shitty. We're gonna figure this out later. I don't want to restart. Do you ever ask yourself that question as an individual? The people that are on deck. Who you are, where you are right now, and if you're happy with it. Hey, coach, I finally had the last talk with my ex today and blocked her today after 2 weeks from my story I wrote. It sounds like you feel good about it. You know, you're going to be through some ups and downs with that, Chris, but there's a reason why you did it in the first place, so stick with it. And it's not going to be easy, but stick with it. Don't go back on it. And if you're having a lot of trouble with that, let's do a live coaching session. But otherwise, stick with it. It's my suggestion. All right, folks, I'm going to close this out in the next 10 to 15 as this is bugging me that I'm being told that it's a tunnel sound. I have trouble believing that it would just be from the stream. Yesterday, I ripped the final scab I had of my ex. What a way to say it, Eduardo. I have 0 photos of her on my social media accounts. I have 0 photos of her on my social media accounts. I used to have a handful of saved photos and videos of her on Snapchat account. Felt good. Well, that's the key, man. Is that it felt good. Sometimes we don't analyze our feelings enough after we do something. And that's why I always tell people your social media, your interactions with your ex, get a temperature read. Are you feeling better? Why would you stay on social media or look at photos that make you feel bad? I mean, literally, a photo of your ex with someone else or looking happy when you're broken up can raise anxiety in you instantly. So why have access to that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have power in that situation. It's almost like people are mutilating their hearts every time they go and do that. It was very clear when I first broke up that I didn't want to. I mean, I didn't watch a no contact video or watch YouTube. Don't get me wrong. I had some moments where I'm just, like, I totally get the feelings, but the idea of having access to photos, no. Her last words were, "So what are you doing? What are you going to do then?" I just looked at her and walked away. Didn't say anything back. Just walked away and closed the car door. Well, as the great Corey Wayne says, the greatest negotiation tool is to walk away, right? So, and what's amazing, Chris, how old are you? People don't realize, too, that this is a chapter in your book. It's a moment in your life. It doesn't fucking define you. And that's why I'm getting to a point now where I'm writing out this playbook. And part of it's going to be, the first part is writing out your story, getting clear on that, dealing with the breakup directly, dealing with the interpretation you have. 29, you're still young, man. You're at your peak, bro. Good things are coming. But I'll tell you what, don't take any shortcuts right now. What do I mean by that? Deal with the breakup. You're going to hurt still. This was a good move, I believe. It's still going to hurt. But realize that's part of the process. It's part of the healing. Just like any other part of your body takes time to heal. So does your heart. So does your soul when you're in a breakup. And if you cared and if you love that individual, you got to deal with that shit. Best way to deal with it, be on these live streams, write your story in, talk to a coach, get really clear on what happened. Don't run away from it. If you need to cry, do it in private, I suggest, or with someone that you love and respect in your family circle. And know that it's going to get better, Chris. That's what you got to come back to. And if I could say, are you still living in the same place that did you guys live together, Chris? I don't remember. If you live in the same apartment or house, it's best to move. That will trigger a lot of things. It's a technical issue. Doesn't reflect from your soothing voice. Thanks, Leandra. We'll figure it out. Yeah, sounds cool. A tunnel robot. Oh, God. That's what... Danny, do me a favor. Go in the other room and go see how it sounds on the live stream on your phone. Can you listen? I'm just curious. Maybe you can figure out where it's coming from. You live with your parents? Well, that's a good support. I'm not judging you for that. Well, it's time to save up some money and get your own pad. Might take some time, but that's okay. And wherever you decide to move, Chris, move somewhere that's exciting and cool. I can't stress that enough. If you're single again and you don't, that's fine. There's a lot of places. Where are you at in the world again, Chris, if I may ask? There's a lot of places in the world that are expensive, and people move back. Oh, that's right. Okay, gotcha, bud. Gotcha. Yeah, I remember your story now. You play baseball in Europe, which is so random because I don't think about baseball in Europe. Texas. Well, the good thing for you, is that you already have something that you love to do that is incredibly mission or purpose based that you're not done with and keeps you in good shape. And this is something I talk about a lot as far as people being happy after a breakup or assessing where they're at in life is camaraderie. And I think that as we get older, we just lose it. And you playing baseball at whatever level and being a part of a team is going to serve you, man. I'll have to check that out. I'm curious. I never knew that there was a league in France for baseball. Completely ignorant to that. That's really cool. Like, I don't know if you saw the Michael Jordan Last Dance the Last Dance documentary. But Michael Jordan, who you know played, I'm pretty sure you know this probably already, Chris. I'm sitting here stuttering because I'm worried about the sound right now, being honest. He played minor league baseball, right? So, but it's amazing because he says when he played, no regrets. And everyone's like, oh, he could have won more titles. He could have done this. It's pretty fucking impressive what Michael Jordan did. Beyond him being such an outstanding athlete and being the best basketball player possibly ever, especially during his time zone or period or whatever you want to call it. Beyond that, to have the balls, the gusto, the power to follow his inclination and go, I want to try this baseball thing. That's impressive. And he doesn't regret it at all. But you know what's interesting? He's like, it was so cool. He didn't use the words cool, I don't think. But his experience with the guys in AA or AAA baseball, the camaraderie was different, I think, than NBA basketball. And he said he loved it. Camaraderie is underrated. I mean, I played in YMCA basketball leagues. I played with a group of guys at the YMCA in the Bay Area that every lunchtime a group of us would get together. The camaraderie, the competition, it was great. Did I play in the NBA? No. Did we have it out on the floor and have great competitions and, talk about things? It was outstanding. A lot of times people that are unhappy, when you get to a certain age in certain cultures in certain parts of America and certain parts of Canada, Western culture, what have you, people start to lose their camaraderie groups. And it's important. And it used to be the way humans evolved, it was your family. But now, if you can be a part of a league or a team, it's just like, if you hear any kind of old baseball player, I don't know if you knew who Mike Schmidt was. He might be beyond your time, but Mike Schmidt was like a all-time third baseman for the Phillies. And they were talking about the steroid phase of baseball. And Mike Schmidt's like, I never took him. Mike Schmidt hit like 40-plus home runs for a variety of years. He was a stud player. And he goes, look, if I could have played 2 or 3 extra years, I probably would have done it. He was just being honest. Because I'll tell you what, when you talk to players or anyone like that have ever played in those leagues, it's a pretty big dip or drop off. Not in the millionaire lifestyle, the camaraderie. On the flip side, what happens when you're on a bad team that loses a lot? It's probably a lot of bad camaraderie. I have several of Mike's baseball cards. That's good knowledge, huh, Todd Whitmore? Mike Schmidt. I'd say one of my favorites of all time, though, is the great Pete Rose. Judge him for whatever he did after baseball, but watching that dude and highlights, Pete Rose was epic when I was born. But you watch highlights of Pete Rose, man, incredible. But my favorite player growing up was Kevin Mitchell. That was just during my time. 88, 89 Giants. Was it bad, the sound? Dan? Could you hear?
Yeah.
It is bad?
It's not as bad as when I have my mic on.
Okay, so it might be something to do with that.
I think it's something to do with the screen, not the mixer itself.
The screen?
The screen.
The stream. Okay, that's good knowledge, Rob. That's actually, thank you, Rob. You're going to get me excited really quick. That's probably one of the greatest catches in baseball history. I swear to God. I swear. It's so underrated. The barehanded catch by Kevin Mitchell. Sorry to get off topic here. Go look up the Kevin Mitchell barehanded catch. Stream latency. Someone just said it's getting worse. It's worse. It is almost like a lad. A lad or something? A lag, maybe. The barehanded catch was off the bat, yeah. Go just look up Kevin Mitchell barehanded catch. If it was Willie Mays that made it, they would show it every day. But Kevin Mitchell's kind of, not a household name, but he was a good player. He's from San Diego too. It's getting bad again, says Rockstar. Rockstar claims that they have a TV background or something or a radio background. They're saying that it has to do with the mixer for sure. I don't know what it would be. Yeah, the mic's never been taken out. That's just sound. That's not even on, is it? Yeah, bro, it's getting bad again. I'll have to figure that out. Technical difficulties here. It's a double echo now. Sweet. Nice. I'm going to get these hammered out eventually. All right, folks, give me some closing questions, and also if you have a topic that you want me to touch on in the next week or two. Take care, Chris. Yeah, Baja, you can hear it fine, though. Cordell Ogan, always an interesting name. Sorry it's late, but I try to catch you next time. No worries, Todd. No need to be. My biggest problem is finding new friends or someone to pass the time with. I think it's a common problem right now for a lot of people. Audio's okay for today. We'll get it right. I appreciate Rockstar saying the content's good. That's kind of you, though. Dark Knight, yeah, you were a little late. A lot of technical difficulties today with the sound, which sounds great in my mic, but it might be the mixer or something else. Nice echo, Mac. I don't know what it's from. I'm going to have to figure this out later. It's bothering me, though, that it's a problem. Because we had a good topic today, I thought. And it's funny, once that happens, I'm thinking, is it still bad? Is it still bad? Oh, I'm not stressed about it. I'm not stressed about it. That's where we're thinking it's the streaming, which is saying it's excellent connection right now. So that's what's a little bit shitty right now. I think my next at least we get to hear the content twice. I think Rockstar, what line of work are you in that you work in audio? I'm just curious. Are you into podcasting or one of those things? Because you said you knew the mic and the headphones. That's why when I said I wouldn't usually care, but I paid a lot for this setup, so for it not to work would piss me off. I'm gonna do a deep dive on the book Breath by James Nestor, which I've put on the Discord. An interview. I'm a radio personality. Fuck, man, that's cool. That's exactly what I always wanted to be a talk. Well, not always. I wanted to be. When I was a kid, I wanted to be one of the sports center anchors like Chris Berman. That was like my dream job. Roller Girl's a camera operator. What to test the signal by coming back right now. Do you want to share the radio that you work on, or is that not something you want to share? You don't need the fans. What the hell? Camera operator. Roller Girl, I thought for some reason you worked at a salon. I'm way off. Absolutely, dude. You can have me on your show for sure, man. I mean, I kind of want to know what your show's about or where it's based, but if you want to email me at Coach Mac McCarthy directly. Baton Rouge, cool, man. My mother was born, well, no, I take that back. She wasn't born in Louisiana. My mother was supposed to be born in Louisiana. My grandfather was in the Air Force in Louisiana. And my mother's half French and half Spanish. And so the parents said that she would be called Creole, which I don't think is true. I don't think Creole's just Spanish and French. So they brought her back to California, which is where my parents or grandparents are from San Francisco. Well, originally Spanish and French. But anyways, my mom lived her first couple years in Louisiana. I've actually had a few clients from Louisiana, really cool people. But yeah, I would love to hear. I think it's the mic actually. I would love to hear do a radio show like that. Tell me, man. I'm up for it. Coach Mac McCarthy at Gmail. Rockstar, definitely email me directly. I'd be up for that for sure. That'd be fun. Why does Mac sound like a robot? That story yesterday was interesting. Skinner, it's been a work in progress, my friend. I don't know what happened to my mic. I'm a little worried, to be honest. Not stressed, but a little worried because my microphone's not cheap. So I hope it's not the microphone. We're going to have to check and come back on. All right, folks. I might be back on in another 10 minutes, or I might be back on tomorrow. The most important breakup advice: who are you as an individual? Where are you at in your life right now? Take an assessment, an honest assessment. Are you living your life answering to other people or being influenced by other people? When in reality, when you break up, this is your opportunity to go all in on you and do what you want to do. And by the way, if you're one of these people that goes, I don't know what I really want to do, you probably need more time alone to figure that out. I know that the breakup that I always talk about that was tough, I spent a lot of time alone, and I'm a social person. And now I value my time alone, and that's when you do thinking about who you are as an individual. And really, you get more and more in touch with that usually as you're older, but you need time alone to investigate, explore, and get creative about who you are as an individual. And I was just at a dinner party, and I talked about this dinner party yesterday, but this guy yesterday was saying he was out of Stanford. That's right, Stanford. And he's been a successful entrepreneur and whatnot. But he said he went a year homeless before he started his business. I was like, really? And he said, yeah, because he goes, I worked out of my car. He goes, I went to a 24-hour fitness to use the shower. And he goes, I just wanted to figure out what I really wanted to do. And I didn't want to be working for someone stealing my time and creativity. And really, when you're alone is when you get creative and resourceful. So hopefully this mic gets fixed. I might be on in 10 minutes if it does. If it doesn't, it's been a special show with a special sound. All right, folks, it's Curtains. I'll talk to you.